here in New York City at Daniel Restaurant. This is the flagship restaurant of chef-owner Daniel Boulud. This is not just simply one of the finest restaurants in New York City with a variety of different awards, but renowned throughout the United States in various cities and throughout the world as well. My wife and I had the opportunity to dine here last night, and I can just simply say the experience was elegant and electric at the same time, with just unbelievable. So if I would stop by here again at the scene of the crime and speak to head sommelier Raj Vaidya about his strategies in wine and food pairing and do some tasting. So why don't you come along with me?
Sure. Yeah.
Well, Raj, your chef has kindly prepared a dish for us, and you've chosen 3 wines to pair with this dish. So why don't you talk to us about what this dish is all about and how it's accented and the wines.
Absolutely. So I like this because it's a very complex dish. You have seared tuna, you have peppers, which have been stewed, marinated sardines, crispy chickpea fritters, and a little Spanish ham. So what I like about this dish, the sauce is accented with the pepperoni as well, the peppers. There's a lot of different textures, there's a lot of different elements of richness, but it's still got some good acidity as well. The first thing I want to focus on would be a white wine. And what's neat about this dish is it's pretty friendly with both white and red. Sans Péré from the producer Bernard Gripa. It's primarily Marsanne with a little bit of Roussanne, northern Rhone Valley. Lovely richness to it, great minerality. It's all planted on granite soil, so it has that beautiful stoniness, but a nice round character as well to pair with the fattiness that comes about from the sardine, the tuna itself, and definitely from the ham. I'm also going to play a little bit with a pink wine, it being spring, and staying in the Rhone Valley, but now this time going to the south to Luberon. It's the Domaine de la Citadelle's Luberon Rosé. Pretty heavy on Grenache, with some Sanso as well, and there's even a sort of Syrah in the vineyard. Very floral, kind of spiced character to it. There's garbanzo beans, fresh garbanzo beans in this dish as well, and with the sort of herbaceousness of the peppers, and so that sweetness. I think that the rosé works really well.
Well, I think it's wonderful to choose a rosé because I think it's very much an underappreciated wine in the United States.
Absolutely.
And it's just so popular abroad.
Indeed, indeed. And especially from that part of the world.
Absolutely.
It fits a lot of the elements of this dish. I mean, it really brings the south of France to mind.
True.
And then we're going to go to Burgundy and do a Pinot Noir. So Domaine Favolis Nuit Saint-Georges, a more structured village, but also from a cooler vintage that shows some nice openness, good fruitiness. A little bit of a high-toned acidity, as we talked about. The acid sort of brightens up the flavors of the saltiness of the sardines and as well as the richness of the tuna, while also bringing the sort of greener flavors of the green garbanzo beans to bear, the earthiness of the chickpeas. So I think it should be really good.
Well, I think what's wonderful about this is here we have an example of a dish with some complexity, and you see in front of us we have a white, we have a rosé, we have a red Burgundy here to work with, so it's not always just one dish with one wine.
Absolutely.
Depending upon what the personality and the character is of these dishes, you can frequently pair several different varietals from several different regions. Oh my God, that's just wonderful. It is so soft and beautiful in the mouth.
See how the brininess of the sardine kind of gets picked up on, brightens up a little
Absolutely.
bit.
That's
And
wonderful.
the sweetness of the pepper too.
Absolutely. That's wonderful.
And it's nice to have that combination, both the chickpea fritter and the fresh chickpeas, so you get both the fatter sort of character and also the texture of the crispness,
Sure.
while still getting that green tone of the bean itself. It's green.
Let's go for the rosé at this point. I love rosés. Just love them.
And they're very, very food-friendly styles, especially from the south, as long as they have good acidity and nice fruitiness at the same time. And of course, it's a dry rosé, even though it does have great fruitiness to it.
You know something? The lovely light fruit in this, kind of a strawberry-ish and maybe a little bit of watermelon, but that sort of it's a very crisp, lively wine. It's and you're right, it's extremely food-friendly. In fact, rosés may be one of the more food-friendly wines and one of the most underappreciated in combination.
Right?
So just wonderful.
It's not just a coiffeur.
That's, there you go, absolutely. And finally, let's give a shot at the red Burgundy and Favolis. It was a wonderful dinner.
The vintage is drinking really well right now.
Oh, I love that. love this sort of cherry and just beautiful, fresh Pinot Noir grape. Oh, that's wonderful. That's just wonderful. You know, this is it's light enough to work beautifully with this. It doesn't overwhelm it. It seems to integrate perfectly with this.
Pinot Noir works really well with different seafood options if you like to do red wine with the dish, because it's low in tannin, and it's tannin that tends to cause difficulty in pairing red with fish.
Yeah, no, this is absolutely.
There's also a richer fish, the tuna, obviously.
Sure.
Pretty hefty meat.
It is, but you know, so often people think about things like tuna or salmon, and you can only go with Pinot Noir. That's not really true. You really have a diversity of wines to work. Raj, thank you so much again. Thank you for having us into your culinary kitchen. We're here at Daniel's Restaurant, the flagship restaurant in New York City. I'm sure they'd love to see you here, and I'm sure that we'll be here to visit with you once again.
We look forward to it. Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you, and cheers.